Hi everyone, today's lesson is lesson 50 and it's a really important real life math skill that we're going to be talking about today. I love this lesson because it's just a really important thing for you to know how to do. It's going to come up countless times in your life and it also includes some really important vocabulary. That vocabulary word is mean. So moving forward from this point, you're going to use the term mean to describe the average of something. An average, of course, we can be talking about any type of set of data. Anytime we're talking about data, I get extra excited. I love data, or you could say data. Both are correct. So the topic for today is finding the average or finding the mean of a set of numbers. And really, that's your learning target today as well, is just to find the average of a set of numbers. We're going to be looking at just two different examples. One of them, what I like about these examples is that the first one provides a visual for people who are more visual, just to see an example of what something might look like. And the next one is more of like a story problem. Also a really important example for you to look at a bulk of information, pull out the pieces that you might need to know, and really ask yourself what they want you to understand. So let's take a look at our first example here. It's funny, I literally just finished making a set of some slime with some students. And so I literally was just doing this. Look at this example. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Here are some notes. I'm going to jump back to those in a sec. We have cups. We have measuring cups. And when I was making slime, we were pouring things from cups and measuring, and it was really, really important. All right, enough with my slime story. I'm going to back up to these notes. And if you are a visual person like me, maybe these would be helpful. Oh dear, look at what I just did. Maybe you'll find these helpful. Otherwise, this is pretty, with these just being two steps, pretty short and quick and easy to remember. When you're finding the mean or the average of a set of numbers, there are two steps. The first step is to find the total. And to find the total, you are going to be adding up all of your numbers that you're given. So adding up any numbers that they gave you, adding up all of the data, whatever you're working with, you add it up. The second step is super important. A really common error I come across is that people forget to do step two. Step two is very important. And that's on here it says separate into equal groups. The best way I can explain it to you is this. Once you have that total from step one, you're going to now divide by how many numbers you have. Divide by how many pieces of data are in your data set. Divide by how many numbers you have. So if I added together four numbers and my total came to, 200, I could divide that total by 4 because I had four numbers and find out, my total from there. But we won't use that as an example. Let's go ahead and actually do this measuring cup example together. If water is poured from glass to glass until the amount of water in each glass is the same, how many ounces of water will be in each glass? I have 3 glasses, so I have 3 numbers I'm working with, or 3 pieces of data. I have 4 ounces, 7 ounces, and 7 ounces. Remember those 2 steps. First, you're going to add all those numbers together. Second, you're going to divide by how many there are. So in this case, you'll divide by 3. Please try this on your own, either on paper or mentally, and unpause when you're ready to check your work with mine. All right, so whether you solve this mentally or on paper, I'm going to talk through my steps. I've added up my 3 numbers. So I had 4 and 7 and 7. So 4 plus 7 plus 7, I got a total of 18. But now in step 2 over here, I needed to take my total of 18 and divide it by 3. Again, my number of 3 comes from, I had 3 pieces of data. I had 3 numbers that I was working with. 18 divided by 3 is 6. I'm not done quite yet. This is a word problem or a story problem. And in this, of course, there is a label with my answer. So my final answer is 6, and then I'm working with ounces. If we were going to be really particular, we would say fluid ounces, but we're going to roll with this. 6 ounces. Okay. And that makes sense, right? If we have 4 and 7 and 7, 6 falls right in between there. That seems about right. That's reasonable. Let's go ahead and give our last example a try. Brad's sister timed him as he swam laps. Brad's lap times in seconds are 80, 85, 90, 85, and 90. What's the average of Brad's lap times? So keep those 2 steps in mind. Please try this on your own and unpause your video when you're ready to check your work. Okay, so here we go. Step 1 is that we add all of our pieces of data together, or add all of our numbers together. And I've just taken this information right from the story problem. We have 80, 85, 90, 85, and 90. That's what I've stacked here vertically, and I've added them together. When I added those numbers together, I came up with a total of 430. Not done yet. We still have step 2 to go. So step 2 is when you take your total or take your sum, and we're going to now divide it by how many numbers we had in our story, or how many numbers in our data set. And in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now my divisor becomes 5. All right, we need to divide, and that's going to tell us our final answer, his average lap time. Also, just to kind of keep in mind, a good mathematician is going to already be thinking about what a reasonable answer would be. So when I'm looking at his data already, he's anywhere between like 80, 85, 90, 90. That number, his average number, has to fall somewhere between 80 and 90 seconds. If we get some number that's way off from there, we know that we did some type of computation wrong. So if all of his numbers are around this, all of his times are around here, our average should end up with a time around there. Let's see what we get. So we're going to divide like normal now. I haven't done this ahead of time, so we're going to walk through this together. 5 can't go into 4, or 4 is not divisible by 5, so let's move on. 43 divided by 5, we can do that. 5 can go into 43 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. I'm writing with a mouse, so thank you for your patience with my weird handwriting. 43 minus 40 leaves us with 3. We still have a place left here, so let's drop down our 0. I love when things divide evenly. 5 can go into 30 evenly 6 times. 6 times 5 is indeed 30. This makes my brain happy. Okay, 30 minus 30 is 0. We have no remainder. 86 is our answer. Going back to what I just said about what a reasonable answer would be, 86 kind of falls right in between 80 and 90. That is a reasonable answer. Not done quite yet. We need to write our answer with a label. So, yikes. 86, and what we're talking about in this case, seconds. I'm going to abbreviate that.